You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
We're back. District Attorney in Brunswick, Bladen, and Columbus.
You got it right.
The 13th District. John David, his twin brother, younger brother by 3 minutes, Ben David, is with us. He's District Attorney in New Hanover and Pender Counties. So how different are the two of you?
Wow, I mean first of all, you can see by our watches, I'm left-handed and John's right-handed.
That's
so
interesting.
We're mirror image twins. I guess it starts there. I have dimples, John doesn't, which has always bothered him.
Well, they say I don't smile much either.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But in terms of how different we are, we're actually, there's a lot of things about us that are different. Our wives are very different from each other, for instance. And, that's a good thing. I mean, I think to many people who only get to know us through either TV or through just, brief interactions, we appear to be a lot alike. And I think as prosecutors, we try and achieve the same things because it's the same laws that we both enforce, and it's the same Constitution wherever you go. So in that respect, I think there's a lot of similarities. But in terms of being individuals, there's things that we like that are the same, but we have some differences too.
Who would you say is one of the, or some of the people who are the biggest influences on your life?
Wow. I know it's going to sound corny to say this, but my brother is somebody that I admire as a colleague very much. Because I think he's become a model, not only in this area, but really across the state, because that's what it's become, is a statewide reputation at this point, Don. To really, involve himself in community-based prosecutions, to know what it means to be a voice for victims of crime in their darkest hours. I've learned a lot from him as a professional, and so actually, in patterning myself after any DA in the state of North Carolina, not because I just look like Ben, but because of what he's doing, he's been a real role model in that respect.
Well, it was a basically very much a Republican year throughout the country and in this area, and you ran unopposed as a Democrat for that office. Why do you think you were unopposed?
Well, that's the ultimate vote of confidence. And hopefully it's because I've taken politics out of this job. I mean, I haven't made a single decision based upon what's popular. I try and do what's right, and usually that happens to be popular, but sometimes it isn't. And I think people know that about me, that what I try to do is be fair by upholding the law and making sure that it applies fairly to everybody. Sometimes you got to prosecute people who are popular, and that's going to make you unpopular with their friends, or you have to dismiss a case where everyone wants you to prosecute it. But if you're upholding the law and upholding your oath, I think that transcends whether someone happens to be a Republican or a Democrat.
You were first elected at what age?
34.
Now, that has to be one
It
of
was the youngest at the time in the state. And, the thing is, there's never a right time for this job. I mean, it's an immense amount of responsibility, but I think that in terms of the opportunities we've both been given this incredible opportunity at a pretty young age in our lives. And we feel very fortunate to be doing what we're doing.
Now, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. So let's just go there for a minute. Did you ever date the same people when you were growing up?
Wow. We tell people
I'm
to
going to plead the fifth on that, Ben.
Take the fifth. Next question.
Did you double date?
Yes. In fact, we have double dated identical twins before.
Really?
Yes, we did. It was the worst 2 weeks of our life.
We played doubles tennis and literally drew a crowd, Don.
That happened.
True story.
That was, yes.
That would go viral today.
Well,
that would go
fortunately,
viral.
that was before the internet.
Did you ever play tricks and pretend to be the other?
You know what's
twin?
kind of funny, Don, is the older that we've gotten, I think the more we look alike. We
Really?
probably look more alike now than we did in our teens and our 20s.
How friendly are you?
Unfortunately, John's losing his hair, and that's well, we did look an awful lot alike though when we were young too, and yeah, we've played all the standard tricks you're probably going to ask us about.
How friendly are your spouses?
Well, obviously, they fell in love with guys that are best friends, and so they've seen a lot of each other through the years too. The one thing they really have in common is they're both great moms, and now that we have our kids together, our sons, for instance, are in the same class together.
Yeah, our sons are only 10 months apart, and that's something that's very special for both of us, because we're going to be able to take boys' trips now for the rest of our lives. Ben had 2 daughters first, and so he had a son. I have a son as well. I only have one child, my wife and I, at the moment, and we're just really looking forward to being able to, take trips together as families. And, we get together, frequently as families and have our kids play together. They're close like cousins.
Did you campaign for John?
Absolutely.
You did.
When I believe in something, I'm all in. And I was campaigning for John 4 years ago when he won. He should have won then. And I think most of the community knows that.
It was very close, by the way.
It
was
was.
very
He
close.
came out of nowhere over there. I mean, 4 years ago, there wasn't a Republican wave as there is now, and John ran as a Republican. He came against an incumbent that had 16 years in office and had never been in an opposed election. And he came within
Rex
a couple.
Gore.
Yes, and he came within a couple of percentage points at that time of winning. And I think that had a lot to do with people on that side of the bridge understanding the reputation he had.
Actually, we're going to take another break. We'll talk about an issue that just surfaced this past week with the previous district attorney in John's district, Rex Gore. There's an investigation, an ongoing investigation. We'll talk a little about that when we come back. Stay with us.